an auction booth. So good morning, everyone. Hope you have a fabulous Saturday. Sorry I started late, but had a bunch of things to do and had some helpers to help me, but so they were only available at the time when I usually go live. So I thought I will go live later on a Saturday and just answer some questions if you have any, as well as give you an update on the Canada Post situation. So I'll actually start with that. I'll start with the news. And so start auction. There we go. All right. Good morning, Nietzsche. How are you? Welcome in. So Canada Post news for this morning is that the rotating strikes are still on. However, they have no locations again that are actually on rotating strikes. So for this weekend, all of your postal any post office that's supposed to be open on a Saturday is going to be open on a Saturday. So that is good news. It looks like good morning, Angie. How are you? It looks like the union is trying to be as gentle as possible as they push for um, the government and Canada Post Corporation to negotiate in good faith. I don't know how long this is going to last. I hope this lasts through the Christmas season because that would be awesome. Um, so, yeah. Good morning, Goo Bruna. How are you? So that's the Canada Post update for you. And if you're new to my shows, welcome in. Hi, Pickles. I have free resources that are available for Whatnot sellers, goal planners, winter stickers, summer stickers, box stickers, you name it, as well as coloring pages, even everything you could ever want. How are you doing? Pickles, how are things? So, yeah, so I'm back at the auction booth. And so there's no new news to report. Good morning, Megahertz. There's no new exciting news to report except that we're back to no rotating strikes anywhere. I'm pretty good. As you can see, I'm a little bit unkempt, but I've been trying to I'm starting to set up, hey megahertz. I'm starting anti rotate camera. There we go. I'm starting to set up the auction that's going to be here. So I'm starting to set up all the stuff that's then I have to put lot numbers on everything and do all that. But I got a whole bunch of stuff already set up. But I have all this space still to fill. All of this. Oh, Megahertz says, hang on, just popping in to say hi, doing my second ever book show in a few minutes. Yay! Okay, awesome. So I'll raid into you. Man of the North, good morning. The Sassy Vintage Chick, hello, how are you? Welcome in. Hi, Shannon, how are you? Dallas, good morning. Good morning, Dave from Alberta. How are you all doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Sassy. How are things? So yeah, so I'm in my the auction booth area. It's kind of big actually. It's a pretty big space, so I'm good. I'm tired. I'm tired, but so I have a lot to do today as usual. Never seems to end. As well as I can't believe it's already November. How did it become November? I don't know how that happened. Crazy. Crazy. So if you have shows, tell us about your shows. Megahertz is going to be on in a few minutes. So we're going to raid into Megahertz, who's doing a book show, which I'm really excited about because second book show. And yeah, so if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, there's no new news. Things are the same, relatively speaking, at least in Canada. So, and Angie's this and that. I think you're still looking for people for your raid train that's on the 16th of this month. And I'm still looking for folks to join the True North Strong raid train on the 10th. If you join our Discord, if you look up in the show notes, it's now, oh, my hands are dirty. If you look up in the show notes at the top, you will find that I've moved the Discord information in that. You were told my website logo was spelt wrong. What? Oh no. Oh dear. If you use Shannon, thanks for asking that question. That's a great question. What is a raid train? So a raid train is where a group of sellers organize together on a theme. It can usually it's a theme of some sort of theme, like a Christmas raid train, or ours is True North Strong raid train. So for Canadian sellers, or Angie's raid train is for family fashion and accessories. So it's all the shows are family fashion and accessories. There'll be a sign up sheet, and you pick your time. The seller picks a time, and then they schedule that time on Whatnot, and then that day each person does their show one at a time, and at the end of their allotted times they raid into the next person on the schedule. So it's basically like it's a collaboration where sellers work together to create excitement. And the cool thing is that, so you're doing a family fashion raid train, for example. You know that the people that are raiding into you are people that are, those viewers are interested in family fashion, so you are more likely to make sales. Doesn't always happen that way, but you often will get more followers, um, people who will come back and bookmark your shows because they enjoyed your show. You only have a certain period of time. You only, so say it's a half hour or an hour show. Sometimes they like raid trains, some raid trains are like 5 or 10 minutes only, but most raid trains that are selling raid trains are between a half hour and an hour slot. And it's just a really fun way to collaborate, meet new buyers and viewers, and yeah, you get to know a whole bunch of people. It's awesome. And then next time there's another raid train, you usually get invited. Good morning, Vintage Honey. Good morning, Kath. How are you? Thanks for the share. Good morning, darling Mook. How are you today? So yeah, that's a raid train. So if you're a newer seller, there are raid trains. It's important to read the rules that are posted, the guidelines that are posted for the raid train, to make sure that it's for you, and that you'll be able to commit to the requirements. Some raid trains require you to do a certain number of giveaways or to sell a certain number of items or at a certain price. I used to do 5 on the 5th raid train, which was $5 starts for everything in the auction. Um, you just need to make sure that you follow the rules and look at the vibe. Like if you read the rules and you don't like the vibe, then it's probably not the right raid train for you. Check out the person who's running the raid train, visit a couple of their shows. You'll get to know the raid trains that you want to collaborate with and work with. And sometimes go out of your comfort zone and try some a raid train that you haven't done before, like a group that you haven't gotten involved in before, because sometimes you can make a whole bunch of new whatnot friends. Good morning, Shauna's Treasures and Art. How are you? Um, Good morning, Donna, Absolute Flipping Deals. How are you? Angie's this and that says mine are 30-minute slots can use to introduce and sell anything family fashion accessories. Yeah, in 30 minutes you can sell a lot if you move quickly. The key is to move quickly. So don't do like 30-second auctions, do 15-second auctions. Speed things up so that you can sell as much as you possibly can in your 30-minute time slot. Preloaded shows during raid trains do a lot better. Darling Mook asked, can you explain how the show alert bookmark listing works? Right. Oh, so the one that I have, so I have a show alert. I'll just, I'll pin it now. So I just do this because it makes life easier. I created this little item so that if you bookmark this, when I am about to go live, it will send you out a notification. If your notifications are turned on your phone, it'll send you out a notification that says the Red Rooster is now selling your item, so that you know that I'm starting to go live. So it's kind of like a show alert. I also have another. What did I usually do? A lot of people, my free resources. There we go. This one here. Sorry if I'm re-alerting people. This one here, free resources for whatnot sellers. I have like 50 bookmarks. So whenever I run that or bookmark that, Blindsy, good morning, 125 Chris, living the dream. Good morning. How are you? Whenever I run that, people know that I've gone live. So yeah, so I started the show alert one, which is also for my, because this free resources for whatnot sellers is for my chat shows. The other one is for yes, it does notify people when you pin it. Yeah, I'm just on my iPhone and I am on an iPhone 12. And so the screen cuts off on the one side, so I can't see the pin. I've sent messages multiple times to Whatnot to say, like, you need to fix this because it's not dynamic. I can't actually see all of the selections like I can on my Android. So if you pin it or run it, it will send an alert out to all the people who have bookmarked or saved that. Yeah, so it's a really great way. So if you notice, for example, okay, so for example, if you pre-list a bunch of things and you notice that there's a few bookmarks on something. So let's look in my, so for example, 2 people have bookmarked my rotating strike notice. So if I pin, I'm going to run the auction because I can't pin, but pretend that I've pinned this, okay? So if you pin something that you can see that people have bookmarked it, because you'll see the number. Like if you go into my store now, you'll see how many people have bookmarked the different things. You pin that, and then you don't have to run it right away. You could just pin it so it sends an alert, and then you can unpin it and start something else, and then repin it again. Those people will come in and be because they'll be alerted, but they might not instantly join if just because the notifications take time. So if you did like a 30-second auction on something, instead of pinning it before you run the auction, you're not giving people enough time to see the notification and jump in to bid on the item if they haven't pre-bid. Always encourage your viewers to pre-bid on items. You can put it in the auction or you can put it in the buy it now, because you can pin things from the buy it now as well. That's a really good question, darling Luke. If you pin it in the buy it now, then you don't have to worry about running an auction. You can just pin it in the buy it now to send out the alert. But if you're pre-listing in your show, you have a sales show and you pre-listed a bunch of things, and you see you got like 5 people are interested in that pink vase, then pin that item long before you actually sell it. So pin the item and then wait a little bit and then run a couple of other things and then pin that item again and sell it, because give those people time to come in. If you notice that you got a lot of bookmarks on something, it's an important way to, yeah, no problem. Good morning, Mid to Mod Treasures and Lemaire. Bonjour. Mama Rotzi finds us in the house. Chubbs, what's up? Pizza Man, good morning. Good morning. Let's see. I said hi to 125 Chris. Okay, I'm caught up. Blindsy, how are you doing? Shannon says, I have blind boxes to sell, all confirmed, looking to clear out, show tonight at 9. That's awesome. Scrolling. Stop by and say hi. How was your show today? How did your show go? Kath, good morning. How are you? I'm doing well, Blindsy. I'm at the antique market. I'm setting up a new booth for an auction here. I'm hoping that I can have a section that's like whatnot stuff, and then another section eventually. I'll have a whatnot section here to encourage people to bid on whatnot. And then I'll be able to do whatnot shows once a month from here, which will be totally fun. That's the plan. That's the plan. I know it'll be great because people will actually be able to come and look, and then hopefully they'll join whatnot in order to bid online for it. So I'll have like a little QR code, like pre-bid now on this item, and then a link to it. So hopefully people will join that way. I think we'll get a lot more that way, except to have to ship it. I hate shipping, which I'm still working on. I'm doing this, and then I'm going back home to continue to do my shipping. My shipping I am behind schedule. Don't be me. Don't be behind schedule. Okay, any more questions? Any more shows you want to share? I know it's a short show. We're going to, Megahertz is on soon. So if Megahertz isn't in here, then that means that Megahertz is on soon. Let me just check. I do not see, yeah, I don't see Megahertz here. So we're good. Okay, so we're going to be going into Megahertz. Angie says we'll eventually get a shipping helper. Yes, that's what, I mean, you got little shipping helpers. Hopefully you could teach them how to help you with shipping. That might, and that's the part that Ethan's not going to like, but if he wants to do selling, he can always start by shipping, right? Dave from Alberta says, might melt silver this weekend. Bookmark if you like. So check out Dave from Alberta. He does these really cool silver refining shows, so you'll be able to see silver getting repurposed. So far, he likes it. Oh, that's good. Granny Kathy, hello, how are you? Floating Feathered Gems, good morning. Keptrix, how are you? And Ajuj, I don't know if I said that right. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. Good morning. How are you doing, Floating Feather? So feel free to share your shows and ask your questions. I'll give you a few minutes to do that, and then we're going to raid into Megahertz, who's a Canadian seller who's usually on here having fun. Going to be selling books, so we want to see those books. And then I will be back. Oh, sorry, I bounced you guys. I'll be back on Monday morning to do a show. And please, if you get a chance, go to my profile and bookmark my show on November 5th morning. We're going to be doing a special show. It's going to be all about increasing your holiday sales. It's going to be intense. It's going to be another like big like take notes or rewatch it later on YouTube show. It's going to be packed with information, but it's all going to be about how you can increase your holiday sales. This is like the key time of year. Lots of opportunities to sell, sell, sell. So I'm going to be talking all about that. Hailstar says I'll be doing my first beauty show on Monday. Congratulations. Floating Feather Gems asked, wonder if I'm able to enable PayPal for US buyers. No, PayPal is not available for Whatnot Canada shows, period, for any sellers. So so all buyers, no matter where they are, cannot use PayPal in a Canadian show. It sucks, but it is what it is. It's been like that since what, April? I feel we all panicked in April, but we seem to be adapting. The reality is that most of us have lost the majority of our US buyers as they get used to this change of the de minimis exemption being removed and them having to pay for customs taxes and duties. It's a huge mind shift. It's a huge mind shift for them. So we need to be patient. It sucks. I miss my American buyers, but we need to just be patient and focus on building our Whatnot Canada businesses. So if you are a Whatnot Canada seller, you should be sharing your referral code out everywhere you possibly can to really ramp up the number of buyers that you have. It's even better if you can do local buyers. So putting up little flyers in your post office and the grocery store and stuff with your referral code and get $15 after $15 credit when you join Whatnot, that sort of thing. Like you can do that. And I'm going to share some more resources on the Discord, like that you can use. I'll be sharing some Canva templates soon that you can just put your own logo in and use them. Shannon says, I have a question. When I'm doing shows and someone local comes on and they buy, I had an issue and had to cancel the order because I couldn't change it to local pickup. If your buyer messages Whatnot support, they can change all those orders to local pickup. They'll refund your buyer for you. So you don't you ever cancel. As a seller, don't cancel an order unless you absolutely have to. If the buyer wants to cancel the order, that's up to them and you can accept or you don't have to accept. I recommend you accept. It's just easier than dealing with upset people. Make the buyer happy and move on and resell the stuff to somebody else. But if somebody says, oh, I should have done local pickup, you can change, you can totally change. Yeah. And as Lindsay says, you can change labels that way as well. So I've had buyers who accidentally bid with an address that was like their aunt's address or something because they were sending stuff to their aunt's house for a while and then they forgot to change the address and they needed to change it. You just ask them to say, I can't do it, but if you message Whatnot support, they'll be able to do it for you. And if you go up to my show notes and you scroll down to the line of fire, you can take a screenshot of how to contact Whatnot. There's like a how to contact Whatnot section. It's probably like this big on your phone. Just screenshot that and take, crop it, and then you'll be able to send it. So Shannon says, also another question. Every shipping label is set to 13 by 13 by 13. Yes, it sucks. That's centimeters for Americans, which is like less, like 4.5 inches. You guys get 12 inches, we get 4.5. Every time I sell something, I have to change it, and then it charges me money. So you get 5 free adjustments per month. So Whatnot gives you 5 free adjustments. My recommendation is that you up your weights to a higher amount. If you sell jewelry or clothing, then you do need to, you could do a custom shipping profile, and I can talk about that in a future show. I've done it before, but we can do it, like we can focus on custom shipping profile, but you could do a custom shipping profile. But if you up your weights, so instead of being at or close to exactly what it is, so if it's supposed to be 4 to 7 ounces, go to 8 to 11 ounces. That'll give you a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to the cost. Blindsy You do need to change it no matter what. It's Whatnot does say you need to change it, also because of Chit Chats and Canada Post. They require you to be accurate with your dimensions and weight. So you can try and get away with it, but legally no. Legally no. Change your dimensions. I mean, I on Whatnot has said for American sellers that if you're below 12 by 12 by 12, don't worry about changing it. But here's the thing: if you ship out a small little package, right? Like you ship out some cards and it's like this, and you don't change it from 12 by 12 by 12 or 13 by 13 by 13, and it gets lost in the system, and they're trying to look for a 12 by 12 by 12 box or a 13 centimeter by 13 centimeter by 13 centimeter box, they're not going to be able to find it. They're looking for the wrong thing, right? So it's less likely that if it gets lost in the system, that's going to be able to be found. So I recommend, yeah, if it's below, if you're a US seller, they've said, because I asked them, like, what's the deal? Give me an honest answer. If it's less than 12 by 12 by 12, they don't worry about that. But for Canada Post and Chit Chats, they want you to be accurate. It does make a difference. So always change if always change it to the correct dimensions. And also, just because if it ever gets lost, they're not going to be able to find it easily if you don't have the right dimensions on there. Shan says, I was worried the package would get stuck at the post office and I would be charged at the post office because the measurements are off. And in the States, a lot of people have been ignoring changing the dimensions up, and the post office has charged buyers for the additional postage because there's postage due, and they charge your buyers for that. You don't get charged; your buyers get charged for postage due. It's not worth doing. It's not worth doing. Just change it. It's three forking numbers. Just change the numbers. Shan says, I've had to change every package dimension. Same thing. Yeah, same for me. I've always had to change the package dimensions and hit the 5 times per month on one show. That happens. No, it's not per month. It's per week. It's every week. So you've got next week. You will get another 5 free. So it's every week, 5 free shipping adjustments. My recommendation is just up your weights, increase your weights, and that should help you. Um, Yeah, as Man North says, always better to be safe than sorry. Hailstar, are you talking about preset shipping profiles? I'm talking about the Whatnot. Yeah, the Whatnot preset shipping profiles. Use them, but increase your weight. Shannon, it does not increase the size of the package. What it does is it charges your customer a little bit more for shipping, which will help to cover those adjustments. Like, let's face it, if you were selling on eBay or something, you're going to charge the actual price that it costs for shipping, right? Or probably a lot of eBay shoppers increase it above that. So it's not unfair to ask your customers to pay more for shipping if it's going to cost more for shipping. Otherwise, you can just leave it as is and then consider that a cost of doing business to pay the extra for shipping. So for example, Green 13 is a big US seller that does estate sales, clothing, jewelry. They have preset custom shipping profiles that they've set up, and they have like an average weight amount that they use. So like say it's 15 ounces per item. So sometimes they're selling something like this. That doesn't weigh 15 ounces to ship, right? But then the next thing could be like a plate, and then the next thing could be like a whole pile of books. And so they basically use the law of averages, and they expect that they're going to have shipping adjustments, and they're going to be paying extra for some or a certain percentage. They figured it out what the percentage is and how much they can afford. And every once in a while, they increase their average weight that they use per item, and that's how they do it. So custom shipping profiles can be used in that way. You can create a box size that you're going to use. So you could change it to 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. But I just use for most of my shows, I just use the preset Whatnot weights, and then I go above what like it used to be. I would go, okay, if it's going to be 1 to 2 pounds when I ship it, then I'm going to stick with that. But if it's going to be closer to the the 1.5 to 2 pounds. I'm going to go with 2 to 3 pounds to give me that extra little bit of money. It's not a lot that your buyer pays extra, but it is going to impact that, if they spend another 50 cents, that's 50 cents less that you're going to have on your shipping adjustments, and it adds up. um Shauna, I haven't finished shipping, so we will find out. I think I will definitely use up all 5 of my shipping adjustments, just because I've got a lot of big things. Like if I do my Blue Mountain Pottery Show, I will be using a custom shipping profile whenever I do my big mountains of Blue Mountain Pottery Show, because I know they're all going to go over size, and it's just going to be easier to do a custom box. So I'm going to have like basically like a banker's I'm going to do like a banker's box size, and I know I can get like about 10 average Blue Mountain Pottery pieces in a banker's box. So I will use that as my custom shipping profile. And yes, shipping is going to cost a little bit more for my buyers, but that's what shipping is going to cost because it's bigger. Okay, catching up. Sorry. Hailstar, you do adjust the size of the package after your order is done. You adjust both your sizes and your weights when you're ready to, before you can generate a label. You need to adjust your dimensions and your weight. Stamp pickers, good morning, good morning to you, stamp pickers, because it's morning for you. How are you? Shauna says, I tried that this week and it backfired. Lesson learned. Oh dear. Blindsy says, because when people bundle up, sometimes the packaging size and weight be more than the preset. Yeah. Shannon says, if we increase the weight, how does it give us more money if they're paying for shipping and not the item? Well, they're paying for the item, but they're paying a little bit more so instead of it being, so say I do this. So if I do this at 4 to 7 ounces, then it's only going to cost, if this was not their first item but their second item, it's going to charge another 25 cents. But if I put it to 8 to 11 cents, then it's going to probably charge like 50 cents or 60 cents. That adds up. A lot of times I notice that my adjustments are like $1.50, $2.30, something like that. And it's like if I had just upped my weights a little bit, then my buyer would have covered that for me and I wouldn't have the extra expense. So again, but if I make a mistake, and because I've got 14 packages to go out, so out of those 14, I'm probably going to have at least 50% or more that are going to have shipping adjustments. So Shannon, it is not less of our item cost is taken away. It's about when you buy something on Whatnot, you pay for the item price as well as the shipping cost. Whatnot calculates the shipping cost, and as if you buy 2 or 3 things in a show, every time you buy another thing based on the weight that the seller tells Whatnot system that the item is, it adds a little bit more to the cost of shipping. So you start off with one item and it might be $14.95, and then the next item is $1.50 because it's a 2-pound item, and it just keeps charging a little bit more for shipping. So it's another shipping fee. So technically, yes, because you pay the 2.9% payment processing fee on whatever your buyer pays for shipping, you might have a little bit less coming in. But again, I think in the end, it is a better business decision to just up your shipping weights when you're setting up your item. If you think it's 4 to 7, go to 8 to 11. Just up it a little bit. That'll save you a lot of headache, and you'll have a few less shipping adjustments. It's not going to eliminate shipping adjustments. Stamp Picker says, I'm incredible. Hope everyone is having a huge and amazing weekend. Go Jays. Yes, tonight is hopefully the Blue Jays will win. But I mean, I think it's pretty amazing. Everyone said, oh, the Blue Jays can't win against the Dodgers, and they're at game 6, right? Go Blue Bombers. Yay. And go Whatnot Friends. Absolutely. Everyone, please follow Stamp Pickers. Topiary, good morning. Zoe's Treasures, good morning. Blindsy says, yeah. So basically, they were paying more than the weight of the package they'll be getting. However, that way both sellers and customer can be safe. Yeah. Um, Shannon says, last night, trick or treating, a lot of people had TVs outside for the parents to watch the game. We live on a street where we do not get any trick or treaters, and I did not watch the game. I have to admit, because it does. I don't know. I was tired. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want plus. I'd have to pay to watch it. Yeah. So Lennon, hello, how are you? Okay, so last call for any questions. It says we couldn't get it live, so we just kept asking Alexa what the score was. That's a good idea. I did check on Google a couple of times. Um, you told me about watching. So Absolute Flipping Dale says our power went out and didn't come back on until 2 a.m. Woo! No, at least you had your phone. At least you had the internet to check things on your phone. What did we like? Can you believe that we're so used to having like a big, like we have a computer, like we have this tiny little computer that once upon a time would have been like this big. Okay, so last call for any questions. Last call to share your shows. We're gonna go raid into Megahertz. I'm very excited. Megahertz is on doing books, and we haven't raided into Megahertz, so I'm really excited. So I'm going to start typing. Thank you, Blindsy, and thank you for your help, Blindsy. You are awesome. All right, let's see. Braid, put in. Oh, I hope I do this right. Yep, there they are. Select. Okay, second ever book show. Keptrick says we did a buyer's giveaway. And the give you shipment was charged to us even though buyer already bought several items before winning the giveaway. Yes, if you do a giveaway, you do pay whatever the amount is necessary in order to ship it. If you use so if you use a custom shipping profile in your items in your show, and you do not use a custom shipping the same custom shipping profile for your giveaway, it is going to create a new box and you are going to pay the full price. So make sure if you do use a custom shipping profile, which you may not have used, but if you use a custom shipping profile, make sure that your buyer's giveaway is in the same custom shipping profile, or you're going to pay full price for the shipping. But you will get a charge for a giveaway shipment. It's just part of it. It's one of the reasons why I'm not big on giveaways, to be honest. Sandpickers has a show at 2:25 Pacific between games, and I also have some cool stories. Ooh, everyone, check out Sandpickers. You will not be disappointed. Hello, how are you? Okay, everyone have a fabulous day. Blindsy says, don't forget to bookmark Blindsy show if you're interested in blind boxes. Absolutely. And Dave from Alberta is going to be probably melting silver today, so make sure that you bookmark that. And I will see you on Monday morning. And don't forget, November 5th, which I think is a Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a special show in the morning. It is going to be intense. We are going to be going a deep dive into how to increase your holiday sales. It's going to be crazy. Kath 1001 will run a show tomorrow night, silver and random stuff. Yes. Have a great day, Man of the North. Love you guys so much. Let's go raid into Megahertz and show tons of love